Welcome, beloved ones. Today, we're about to dive into a story from the Old Testament that is quite frankly one of the most disturbing and controversial in the entire Bible. If you've heard of it before, you might only know bits and pieces, but trust me, you have the full truth until now. This is not a tale for the faint-hearted, and I must warn you, this video is not all ages. The events in this story are intense, and they may stop up emotions or even memories that you were expecting. This story, found in Judges chapters 19 to 21, is one that many try to forget or ignore. Most people know chapter 19. Beauty stopped there, never daring to go any deeper. But here's the thing, there are lessons buried in this dark narrative that are just as relevant for us today. What if I told you this story was so disturbing it was censored for centuries? What if the truth of this biblical account holds the key to understanding something much God's plan, even in the midst of chaos? Before we move forward, I want to ask you, are you read the hidden truths that we were purposely kept from you? Drop a 777 in the comments now if you're ready to take this journey with me. And to never miss another revelation like this, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Stay with me as we unravel this mystery together. Let's open the pages of Judges and uncover the shocking details that have been hidden for far too long. The journey begins now, and I promise it will change the way you see the Bible forever. Keep watching. There's only much more to discover. In Judges 19 first, the Bible opens a chilling door into a time when Israel had no king to guide them, central leadership to uphold standards. It was an era marked by moral chaos, where everything personal did what they believed was right in their own eyes, leading to a society where righteousness and justice were often overlooked. From the remote hill country of Ephraim emerged a Levite, not just an ordinary man, but belonging to the tribe appointed by God for sacred duties. Despite his spiritual calling, this Levite found himself entangled in a deeply personal and eventually tragic narrative. Choosing a concubine from Bethlehem in Judah, he embarked on a journey that would reveal the dark underbelly of a nation adrift from its moral compass. The Levite, the man of solemn demeanor and deep contemplation, ventured into the bustling city of Bethlehem in search of a companion. Among the narrow streets and livery markets, he found himself drawn to young women whose eyes sparkled with intelligence and whose laughter echoed through the cobblestone alleys. She was not just the concubine from Bethlehem, she was a symbol of hope in a time of chaos. Their union was not merely one of convenience or tradition, but meeting of souls destined to walk a path fraught with challenges and revelations. As these journeyed together, their bond grew stronger, weathering storms of doubt and uncertainty. The Levites saw in her not just a partner, but beacon of light in a work shrouded in darkness. Little did they know that their love story would intersect with the broader narrative of a nation adrift from its moral moorings. The shadows of the night surround the trio as they advance toward the unknown. The wind whispers old secrets, and the silence of the road echoes like a dark omen. Levite, with the weight of fate on his shoulders, feels the presence of something sinister hanging in the air. Each step seems to echo like a drum, marking the beginning of a journey that will forever change its lives. While the moon sheds its pale light on the desolate landscape, Levite and his companions advance without knowing that they are about to enter a night full of unspeakable horrors. As the Levite, His concubine and his young servant advance through the dusty roads toward Gibeah. The surrounding atmosphere seems loaded with dark omen. The sun slowly puts itself on the horizon, dyeing the sky with reddish tones, while the city's silhouette stands out against twilight light. The sounds of nature seem stuffy, as if the earth itself contained the breath in the face of what is to come. As they approach Gibeah, the air seems to weigh more, as if the shadows of the past stopped over that place. Travelers feel a mixture of apprehension and determination, while each step takes them deeper into the web of fate that begins to unfold before them. As Levite, his concubine, and his young servant approach Gibeah, a sense of restlessness over them. The air seems to be charged with a dark energy, and the silence of the night is interrupted only by the sound of the hooves of the animals echoing in the hills. As they enter the city, they are greeted with hostile looks and a disturbing silence. No inhabitant offers shelter or hospitality, leaving vulnerable and helpless travelers. This silent rejection echoes as a sinister omen of imminent horror that is about to unfold before them. As night advances and silence becomes more oppressive, travelers find shelter in the house of an old resident of Gibeah. Initially received with forced hospitality, they soon find themselves in front of an angry crowd knocking on the door. A group of wicked men in the city requires Levite to be delivered to them to satisfy their wishes. The old man, in an act of despair and tragic lack of discernment, proposes a shocking solution, offering his own virgin daughter and the concubine of Levite to insane men. The tragedy reaches its apex when the concubine is torn to the force of the house and subjected to unnameable abuse all night until the dawn rupture, leaving it on the verge of death on the steps of the residence. As the night advances and the shadows lengthen, the concubine, a fragile and helpless figure in the face of the brutality of Gibeah, out of the old man's house. Their shouts echo through the deserted city, mixing with the cold wind that cuts the night. The complicit silence of the hidden witnesses seems to weigh on the environment, while the darkness swallows the horrors that unfold in the dark nooks of Gibeah. With each moment of agony and terror inflicted on the concubine, the morality of the city is torn further, revealing the dark depths for which humanity can sink in the absence of light and justice. As the night advances and the stars dot the dark sky as bright diamonds, Levite carries the lifeless body of his concubine to the elder's house. Each step weighs as lead in your heart, torn by pain and guilt. Upon entering the residence illuminated by a single flamboyant candle, he finds himself in the face of the terrible scenery of death and the destruction that was slaughtered over his beloved. With trembling hands and teary eyes, he takes a sharp knife and a mix of despair and resignation, begins to break the body of the woman who was once her mate. Each cut is like a stab in its own soul. Every drop of spilled blood echoes like a silent scream in the deep night. When the last piece is separated, it wraps them carefully, as if handled sacred relics, and prepares them to be sent to the tribes of Israel, taking with them not only the sadness of the irreparable loss, but also the dark message of evil that plagues the earth. Nothing like this has happened or been seen since. As the news of the heinous crime spread throughout the land, the deep sense of shock and grief enveloped the hearts of all who heard. The elders of the tribes gathered in solemn assembly, their facts ethed with sorrow and disbelief. They spoke in hushed tones, echoing the sentiment that resonated in every corner of Israel. Nothing like this has a happy or been since the day the Israelites came up from the land of Egypt until now. The weight of those words hung heavy in the air, a stark reminder of the magnitude of evil that had unfolded within their midst. It was not just the crime against one woman, it was an assault on the very fabric of their society, a betrayal that cut to the core of their identity as God's chosen people. The echoes of that fateful night reverberated through time, leaving an indelible mark on the collective memory of Israel, a stain that could not be easily. In those days, there was no king in Israel. The absence of a central authority to guide the people left them adrift, vulnerable to their own whims and caste. Every individual acted according to their own understanding of right and wrong, leading to a society where moral compasses varied widely. Without the unifying leadership to uphold justice and righteousness, chaos reigned in the land. The phrase in those days, "There, in the king, in Israel," serves as a poignant reminder of the consequences of spiritual vacancy and moral relativism. It underscores the importance of divine guidance and governance in steering humanity away from the pitfalls of self-centeredness and towards a path of righteousness and unity. If this message spoke to your heart today, I encourage you, don't just move on. Sit with it, share it, let it challenge you. And if you believe others need to hear this truth too, then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this message with someone who may need to be reminded that God's grace can still meet them, even in the middle of the mess. And if you feel led to support this mission, you can do so through Super Thanks. But whether you give or not, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, for listening, and for walking this journey with me. May God bless you. May He lead you. And may we never again live without our King.